For this practice you'll just need a book, any book, but we're going to use it as a yoga block, so makeshift props. We'll pop that book, or if you do have a yoga block you can just pop that by the side, and then just wiggle right the way to the back of the chair. Take a little lean back on your chair, hands can rest wherever they're comfortable, and if it feels okay here, close the eyes. So just taking a few moments to arrive into your body. Notice how the body's feeling. Notice anywhere in the body that maybe we need to pay a little bit more attention to today. So anywhere that's feeling a little bit tight, a little bit sensitive. And just remember to take the practice at your own pace. If there's anything that causes you pain or discomfort, just edge back away from that. And remember, we don't have to practice every single move. We can always choose to come back to the breath and just stay still for a little while if that's what we need. So just noticing right now the breath coming in and out of the nose. And then just gently starting to increase the length and depth of each breath. See if with each inhale we can start to fill up from the belly, then filling up into the rib cage and right up into the chest. And on each breath out, see if we can empty from the tummy first, then from the ribs, and then finally from the chest. And just keep going with that nice deep breathing in your own time. Noticing how you're feeling on the inside today. So how we're doing in the heart right now. Emotionally, what's going on. And then noticing the quality of your mind. So notice if that mind is busy with thoughts, or maybe it's a little bit calmer and maybe there's some stillness. Maybe there's little pockets of both and we notice the busyness and the stillness and they're kind of interspersed. When you're ready, taking one more big breath in through the nose. Releasing that breath through the nose. And then just really slowly, if you do have the eyes closed, just start to blink them open. Let the light back in, a little bit at a time. Lovely. You're going to start to wiggle yourself towards the front of the chair so that there's a nice big gap in between your back and the back of the chair. So if I just turn around my chair, you'll be able to see that I'm sat on the edge of the chair, feet flat on the floor. There's a big gap in between my back and the back of the chair, so I'm not tempted to lean back and let go of all muscular engagement. We're sitting up nice and tall. There's a little bit of a natural curve in the lower back here. The muscles of the spine are working and the core is switched on. So we just locate the navel, the belly button, and then gently draw that in towards the spine, starting to activate that core. And we're asking that core to keep us up nice and straight and away from the back of the chair. So from this position, with those feet flat down on the floor, we'll get those toes moving a little bit. So if you just take a look down at your toes, lift the toes up off the floor and spread them out as wide as we can. We want to try and spread them out like fingers and then slowly pop them back down onto the floor. Just a few more like that, lifting those toes up, spread them wide, and then we wiggle them back down onto the floor. One more time, lifting those toes up, spread the toes, and then place them back down. And then now, keeping the toes on the floor, just come right up onto the tiptoes. So we lift the heels and then back down. Lift the heels and then back down, and just one more, lift the heels and back down. Lovely. I'm just going to start to roll now from the outside edge of the foot, so that we open the knees a little bit so that we come onto the knife edge of the foot, and then roll to the inside edges of the foot and the knees kind of come together. So we'll just do that a few more times, just working into that ankle mobility. Just noticing how that feels to concentrate the movement into one area of the body. And although we're trying to concentrate that movement just into the ankles, we can't help those knees moving, we can't help the legs moving. Maybe we feel that in the hip as well. We might even tune in and feel that in the lower back. So you kind of start to realise that what the feet are doing affects the rest of the body. And bring those feet back into neutral, back into parallel, pushing down through those feet a little bit. Feel the legs start to engage as you push the feet into the ground, and then let go of the feet, let go of the activation, feel the legs relax. Push those feet into the ground, so pushing those heels down. We may not move much, but we feel the legs engaged, and then let go. One more time. Push those feet down into the ground. Lovely. And then let go. Nice one. We're going to take a big breath in now as we take the arms out to the side and up over the head. Big, 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 huge breath in. And then as you exhale, just bring those hands back down by the sides of the body, the same exact way that they came up. 2 more like that. Inhale to raise those arms up over the head. Exhale, bringing those hands back down. Feel that lovely stretch each time we reach up. So last one, making this your biggest breath yet. And then release. Arms are back down, palms of the hands resting against the thighs, the knees, or whatever's comfortable. We're just going to start to lift the shoulders and circle them back. So just keep going with this, going at your own pace, and we create a little bit of tension here as we shrug those shoulders up and then release it as we bring them down. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. We'll start to take those circles forwards now, so lifting the shoulders up, roll them forwards, lift up and roll forwards. Lovely. And last one, lifting up and rolling forwards, and then just give the shoulders a little bit of a shake out. Nice. We're going to slowly bring the chin down towards the chest, stretching out through the back of the neck a little bit. Notice how the neck is feeling today. So if it is feeling stiff or there's tension there, just remembering to not take it so far, or if it's really hurting, if it's really difficult, just keep the head in central and keep breathing. Bring that head back up to center. Slowly we'll carve a line up with the nose to look up towards the ceiling, and here getting that stretch across the front of the throat. Bring the head back into center. Beautiful. Take the gaze over to the right side, so you're just turning the head as if you're going to look to something on the right side of your room or on the right side of wherever you're practicing. Bring the head back into center. Turn it over to the left. And we notice if this side feels the same or different. And then bring it back into center. This time you're going to take your right ear down towards your right shoulder. And then back into center. Left ear to left shoulder. And back into center. Lovely. I'm going to grab hold of your book now. So taking hold of that book, and you can always come back to this practice, and maybe next time you do it, practice with a bigger book, a heavier book, so we start really training those arms and shoulder muscles. So we're squeezing the sides of the book, and if you come to my chair yoga regularly, you know what's about to happen, you know it's going to be tough, so we're putting that effort in. If you don't, welcome to chair yoga online, and again, do as much of it as you want to do, leave the rest. So we're squeezing the sides of those books, or that book, as if it's a yoga block. So we usually do this with a yoga block, but you know, New times call for new measures. We're squeezing that book and then straightening the arms out in front. As you inhale, keep squeezing the sides of the book. Take the arms all the way up over the head, and we should already start to feel this through the shoulders and the arms. If you don't feel it, squeeze a little bit harder. As you exhale, bring those arms all the way back down. And you're just going to keep going with that, following the rhythm of your own breath. So the inhale, arms go up. The exhale, arms go down. And these books, they're a little bit heavier than the yoga blocks that we usually use. They're quite light. So maybe now if you've got a particularly heavy book, maybe you're starting to feel that already. We're starting to create that strength, and we're getting that overhead reach, mobilizing the shoulders and the upper back. So keep going. Each inhale takes the arms up. Each exhale brings the arms back down. We're going to take one more. Take those arms all the way up over the head. As you exhale, we're keeping the arms lifted and keep breathing. So we're really, really reaching up. Squeeze the sides of that book. Take one more breath in now. And as you exhale, we're going to twist through the spine. So twisting at the waist to twist over to the right side. As you inhale, bring it back into center. And then exhale over the other way. Inhale back into center. Exhale to the right once more. Inhale back into center. And then exhale to the left. Inhale back into center. Exhale, bring those arms all the way back down. Just rest the book on your lap and release the arms. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And breathe a sigh of relief before we take one more. A little bit like that, but slightly different now. So squeezing the sides of that book again. As you inhale, take those arms all the way up over the head. Nice big breaths in as we do this. Exhale, bringing those arms all the way back down. And then we're just going to do it one more time now, taking the arms up, and then we're going to bring it into some side bends. So as you inhale, take those arms all the way up. On your exhale here, we're going to side bend over to the right. Inhale, bring it back into center. Keep squeezing the sides of the book. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring those arms all the way back down, and again just breathing in and out, that sigh of relief. So big, big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh out. And that's it for our book today. We can put that book away, well done. Okay, so we're going to keep the feet parallel. I'm just going to come into a little bit of a forward fold. So as you inhale, take those nice new strong arms all the way up for a big reach. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down into heart center. We're going to start folding forwards. Release those hands down the legs if it feels comfortable, or we can keep the hands on the thighs and stop ourselves from folding too far if we don't want to go further. But again, if you do want to, the hands can come down. We might even want to let go of the head if it feels okay, and the neck. Let the arms dangle on the floor if they can reach. Maybe just give the head a little bit of a shake out from side to side. Release tension. Take a big breath in. Take a breath out. We want to engage the core a little bit, so pulling the navel, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift all the way up, taking the arms out to the sides of the body. We start really strengthening the back here. Reach those arms all the way up, and then exhale to heart center. We're going to do that one more time like that, and then we'll add on some more stuff. So as you inhale, take those arms out to the side, up over the head, big reach through the sides of the body, and then exhale as we forward fold all the way down. Or maybe again we can stop ourselves here if we don't want to go too far. So coming all the way down, keep breathing, nice deep breaths here. We might feel a little bit of massaging effect on the tummy as the tummy is pressed against the thighs. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. As you inhale, we engage the core a little bit, so we pull that navel in towards the spine, take the arms out to the side and come all the way up, reaching those arms up as you get to the top, and then exhale to heart center. Lovely. Okay, we're releasing those arms down. We're just going to add a little bit more now to these salutations. So inhale, take those arms all the way up and overhead. Big breath in. On your exhale, forward fold. Same as we've just done. And again, we're holding a few breaths. This time, on your inhale, we're just going to come halfway up with the chest. So we're lifting the chest off the thighs, taking the arms out wide, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Hold it there. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, fold all the way back down. Next breath in, start to come all the way up, arms out to the side, and this time we're sitting all the way back up with those arms reaching up overhead. Exhale to heart center. And lovely, we'll come into it again with some side bends this time. Inhale, arms all the way up. As you exhale, take a little side bend over to the right, and if it doesn't feel good to bring the hands together, keep those arms about shoulder distance apart. Inhale back into center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back into center. And then exhale, come into that forward fold. Releasing the head if it feels okay. Hold it, keep breathing. Next breath in, come halfway up, arms come out wide, we're engaged in the tummy. This time, see if you can draw your shoulder blades a little bit closer together and then maybe lift those arms a little bit higher. Take one more breath in. Exhale, forward fold, all the way back down into your version of forward fold. On your next breath in, start to lift the arms, lift the head, lift the chest, and come all the way back up, reaching up as high as you can, and then exhale, heart center. We're going to do just one more like that. As you inhale, send the arms out and up. On your exhale, take a side bend to the right. Inhale to bring yourself back into center. Exhale to take yourself over to the left. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, forward bend all the way through. Hold it there, keep breathing. Maybe this time in our forward fold, it might feel good to walk the hands a little bit further forwards and get a little bit more stretch through the top of the back, the shoulder area, the armpits even. And then we'll walk those hands back towards the feet. As you inhale, come up halfway, arms out wide, lifting those arms up a little bit higher than the back if we can, or if it feels like you want to do that. Take one more breath in here, and then exhale to release everything back down into that fold. Next inhale, come all the way back up, lifting the chin, the chest, the arms all the way back up. Take one more reach up through the body, big breath in, and then exhale to release. Well done. Nice. From here, we're going to take those hands to the heart if we can, and we want to try and create as much of an angle here between the wrist and the arm as is comfortable. So maybe that's a little bit higher, maybe that's a little bit lower if we feel like we can go there. But once we've found our position that feels okay in the wrist, we're going to push those hands together a little bit harder. Push, 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 push. Keep those elbows down away from the ears. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. Lovely. Then interlace the fingers, so we're sending the fingers in between one another and then starting to circle the wrists here. So So we're just kind of getting out any clicks now. Mine's clicking quite a lot on the right side. And then see if we can go the other way. Little bit of brain yoga here to make the hands go the other way. Don't worry if it doesn't happen or if we start and then it goes the other way. Give the hands a little bit of a shake now. You give the shoulders a little bit of a shrug. Take a big breath in. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Nice one. When you're ready, in the most comfortable, appropriate way for you, come up to stand at the back of the chair. And if you just want to skip this bit out and take a little midpoint relaxation, that's fine. So if you'd rather relax a little bit here, you can slide back to the back of your chair and just rest. Otherwise, we're coming up to stand at the back of the chair. There's no rush as well. You can always hit pause on this video. If it's going a little bit too fast, hit pause, return to it whenever you're ready, or just repeat that beginning part again if you want to get those arms really super strong. So the chair is roughly, well, it's towards the front of your mat, and then we're holding on to the back of that chair. Just take a look down at your feet. And we're going to step the feet out just a little bit wider. If you are on a mat, take them to about mat distance apart. If you're not on a mat, don't worry, you don't need to be, but take your feet out a little bit wider than your chair legs. And then we're going to turn those toes out a little bit wider than the heels. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, we're just going to take a little bit of a bend in the knees to sit down, just a tiny bend, and then inhale to push back up. Exhale to sit down a little bit into the knees. Inhale to push back up. Keep going, following your own breath. So each breath out, we're coming down. Each breath in, we're coming back up into center. And just keep going with these, following your own breath. When the knees start to maybe warm up a little bit, if this feels okay, maybe we start to bend those knees a little bit more. Make sure the hips are feeling okay. Make sure the back is okay. And if you'd like to challenge the balance a little bit, try maybe taking one hand onto one hip. If that feels okay, we might want to switch hands. If that feels okay, we might try with both hands on hips and just keep going with that breath. Taking one more, down when you're ready, and then back up. Lovely. We'll take hold of the back of the chair again. Just start to wiggle those feet out a little bit wider. So if you are on a mat, they're coming way off the mat now. And we're just taking them out just a little bit wider, and feet more or less parallel to each other now. We're just going to start to bend into your right knee. So bend your right knee, keep the left leg straight. And we start to strengthen through this side, through your right side, and stretch through the inner left thigh. Straighten the leg again and then bend through your left knee. Same thing on the other side. And then we're just going to slowly start to come through each side. So each time you exhale, you're bending one of your knees. Each time you inhale, coming back into center. And again here, if we want to start to challenge the balance, do we dare bring one hand to the hip? Maybe we switch it up and see if it feels okay on the other side. So bringing the other hand onto that hip. If we want to today, remembering we can always come back to this practice and try again if that's what we want. Maybe we bring both hands onto the hips. And we keep moving, bending just one knee at a time. If you do have the hands on the hips, we'll bring the hands back onto the chair again now. Wiggle those feet back onto the mat or back in line with the chair legs. If you are practicing on kind of a slippery floor, just be really mindful now as we start to push back into a down dog that the chair might move. So a mat is quite good for making sure that the chair doesn't move, or if you're practicing on carpet, you should be okay as well. So if you do have a rug or anything to put the chair on, and then make sure you're standing on that rug as well so that we don't slide the chair away with the rug. Start to walk those feet back towards the back of the mat. We're holding onto the back of the chair now, about shoulder distance apart, and then we're going to stick the bottom out behind and start to melt the chest down towards the floor to open up the front of the body, the chest and the shoulders in our downward facing dog. Nice big breaths in and out of the nose here. Let's take one more breath in, one more breath out, and on your next inhale, start to walk those feet all the way back up to the top of the mat. Lovely. From where you are, you're going to step your left leg towards the back of the mat. So your right foot is just behind the chair and your left leg is towards the back of the mat, and we're right up on the back toes here. Bend into your right knee. So if I turn to the side, you're going to look like this a little bit. Okay, so front knee bending, back leg straight. So we really get into those calf muscles and we really start to strengthen the front hip as well. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. And then carefully step to the front of the mat, and we'll repeat on the other leg. So sending your right leg back, bend into your left knee, keep the back leg nice and straight if we can, really pushing back into that right heel. Bend the left leg. One more breath in, one more breath out. And then carefully with your next breath in, we'll step back to the front of the mat, give those legs a well-deserved wiggle, and then again come back to sit on the chair in the most appropriate, comfortable way for you to get there. There's no rush. Remembering you can always rewind, pause, stop the video whenever you need to. Okay, so just wiggle right the way to the front of the chair again. We're not leaning against the back of the chair for a little bit yet, a few more minutes at least. We're just going to take a look down at the feet once more and just start to toe heel those feet out a little bit. So we're going to toe heel those feet out so that we're sitting with wide hips. Toes are out wider than the heels. Take a big breath in here and take a big breath out. Take another breath in. And if you want to, with your exhale, start to lower those elbows down onto the thighs, coming into a little bit of forward fold. Now we're going to hold it here for a few breaths first, and then anyone who wants to take that a little bit further will be allowed. So just focusing in on breath, focusing on where you're feeling sensation. So do we feel this primarily in the lower back? Or do you feel it more in your hips or your inner thighs or groin area? Maybe you're still carrying a lot of tension in the shoulders, and that kind of action of leaning the elbows against the thighs is putting a little bit of tension into the shoulders again. So just everyone's going to feel this differently. There's no right or wrong answer, but where do you feel this right now? Again, if we do this video more than once, we might experience different things. So for anyone who wants to take that a little bit further, take another breath in. And then exhale, maybe we start to bring those fingertips down towards the mat. If you still have your book nearby, you might even want to bring your book in. And so we bring the floor up a little bit higher so that we don't have to come down quite so far if it's not feeling good. And remembering, if it's not feeling good, just bring it back up onto those elbows. Taking one more breath and one more breath out. Then we'll really slowly, if you're not there already, bring the elbows back onto the thighs, and we'll just stay here for a little moment. Okay, we're going to start to take a little bit of side bending action here. So using your right hand, take your right hand onto your right thigh. So we start to lift that shoulder a little bit. Push into your left elbow, push into the right hand, and we're going to start to open that shoulder a little bit more, and maybe look over that right shoulder. Nice big breaths here. If this is feeling comfortable and stable, you might then want to extend that right arm up. So lifting that right arm up and then sending it over towards the left side of your room to create a little bit more side bend. Take one more breath in, and then exhale to return that right hand onto the right thigh if you did have it lifted. Bring the left elbow back down onto the thigh. Nice one. Then we're going to take that over to the other side. So taking your left hand onto your left thigh, and we're gently opening through that side of the body. Taking the left arm up overhead if it feels okay, and then reaching that over towards the right side of the room. Taking one more breath in, one more breath out. As you inhale, start to come all the way back out, returning that left hand onto the left thigh, and then coming all the way back up into centre. Lovely. We'll wiggle those feet back in towards the centre of the mat now. If you have used a book, just removing that book. And then starting to shuffle towards the back of your chair. Rest your hands on your thighs. Lean into the back of your chair. Close the eyes if it feels okay to do so. Relax any tension through the shoulders. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Notice how you're feeling in the body. Notice the sounds that you can hear around you. Stay in your relaxation for as long as you need here. And then whenever you're ready to come out of your relaxation, just gently blink the eyes open. Maybe take a moment to consider how you're feeling, and then continuing the rest of your day. So again, stay in this relaxation for as long as you need. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.